Okay. All right. Here we go. Today's the motherfucking day, everybody. Today's the day. Obviously, I think they're not going to be like, oh, someone won today. I don't think that's going to happen. I think a lot of times they kind of draw it out. I think it doesn't have to be certified to the 15th of December or something like that. I have to check that out. But yeah, today's the day. Big day. Short day in the studio for me. We just got back from Maryland over this weekend, really fast weekend recap. Went to Maryland, hung out with the family. One of my really good friends, Jarrett, got married. Big shout out to Jarrett and Christine. Best wishes to them. Really nice wedding, really good time. Glad we did that. Rode dirt bikes on Sunday with my buddy Gangsta Pete. Holla. That's been a running joke for 20 years. I don't expect anybody to understand it. And yeah, a lot of good things, a lot of good times hanging out with the puppy, stuff like that. So I love going to Maryland, visiting my grandma, things like that. But now we're back in the studio. I did take a little crypto break. I need to do that sometimes. I want to trade every single day, but my brain this year, I've literally found out in this past year where my personal threshold is. It's a good thing to know, good thing to learn. I think like when my early days in crypto, I would just work into oblivion, you know what I mean? Kind of fall over when I was done. I think now that I kind of got to a point where I'm very comfortable, I don't need to like kill myself like that anymore. Obviously still going to work really hard, but I'm not going to like drop anymore. And I did take a little break over the weekend. So I catching up on the charts today on the show is important for me as it is for you. I am certainly interested to see how the market's going to react to today. I know we already broke 70,000 today. I think there's a lot of uncertainty, to be honest. I think that if we were, I know Polymarket's one thing, but Polymarket's not everyone, guys. Not, if I went into the local gas station and asked the first 100 people to walk in the door, do you know what Polymarket is? I bet mostly all 100 people off the street would say no. And Polymarket, that is money. It is people putting money where their mouth is. That is important, but it's not your average person. And I'm just going to be patient with today, how it goes. Jade and I are going to go vote. Not sure where after the show here. But yeah, so that's where we're at. But I think, we always talk about how on FOMC meetings, the days, the interest slashes or the interest hikes or whatever or CPI days, even that those days are volatile days for trading. Some people avoid those days. Some people sit those days out because there's a lot of whipsaw patterns. And if you're new to trading, or just a quick refresher, a whipsaw is when it'll go one way. Like let's say it goes down. It'll go down, boom, and it'll clear where it started. So if it started going down here, it comes to here, it'll come down and then shoot past that part and clear it out. It's called a whipsaw, and it's basically impossible to trade whipsaws. I think there's going to be a lot of that crazy type volatility. I don't know. I think hodl bags, I mean, you guys know where I stand with that. I did buy $100,000 in crypto last week. I considered doing another 100K buy over the weekend, which might have not been the worst idea considering the 100K I bought is about 8-9% down, which I kind of expected. It's not a day trade for me. It's not a matter of if I bleed for a few weeks. It's a hopefully at least a 1 year hold. It might end up being less than 1 year, but time will tell with that. But it's kind of more about the statement of front running the election, things like that. Crypto is torn. Crypto is torn right now on if Kamala wins, are we still going to have a bull run? I would say yes. I would like to say yes. And I'm not saying yes to pander. I'm saying yes because of the macro, which is the last FOMC meeting. We had our first interest slash, the first Fed pivot since March of 2020. We're entering a phase of quantitative easing. We've never had a crypto bull run in a phase of quantitative tightening. All right. And not to mention, like I've said on this channel a lot of times, China, Japan, countries in Europe, here, the globe, the world is entering a phase of quantitative easing. The money printer is going back on. The M2 money supply is going to go up. And unless Kamala's administration regulates altcoins to oblivion, which is a take, I still think we will have a pretty legit bull run because of the M2 money supply. Obviously, that bull run will be much better with Gary Gensler out of the SEC. Crypto mom Hester Pierce already seeing articles pop up how she's first in line to take Gary's spot in the event of a Gary Gensler firing. That would be really good. I heard her speak at which one was in Texas? Consensus. And I was actually kind of upset about her speaking in Texas because she basically said, oh, we could have a conversation about having a conversation. She didn't really say anything, but it was still one of the deals where I think that obviously the bull run would be much better with Trump. I think we're going to see an insane, like we haven't seen a $10,000 candle yet. You know what I mean? We haven't seen that real move up. And I think we know that Trump wants America to be the crypto powerhouse of the world. I'm more excited about that than the gains. Obviously the gains are nice. Making money is great, guys, but I've made money. I made, and let's put it like this. Let's put it like this. Don't completely freak out if Kamala wins. Why is that? In Biden's administration, during a bear market into now, AJ Wright's crypto went from riding dirt bikes, working random jobs, not being a significant person in crypto, to becoming a millionaire during the Biden administration, okay? Which was a shit show in every sense of the word, in terms of, the interest hikes, the bear market itself, us waiting all year to get the slash that we got. Yeah, this year was the best year for sure. But I'm saying that it's not the end of the world if Kamala wins. If you're a grinder and you work hard and you know what you're doing and you learn how to trade and you really go down the rabbit hole and you figure this stuff out, you can still succeed. Considering I've made all my money with Joe Biden in the White House. And if you even look at the numbers of, inflation during a presidency, Joe, let's just say Joe did a great job. Great job, everybody. Great job, Joe. Great job, Joe. But, all right, I do have more to get into today, but let me give a quick shout out to everybody in the chat here. Big shout out. Grateful Dad, hodl the line. Should I convert 1 ETH into H-bar? What do you think? I mean, hodl the line. I can't give you financial advice, but what I would say is, what is your goal? Is your goal to, hopefully get a 5 or 6x, or is your goal to double or triple your money? I don't really see Ethereum 5xing from here. Is it possible? Yes, but the likelihood of Ethereum 5xing from here compared to the likelihood of Hedera 5xing from here. I mean, what is Hedera's market cap right here, right now? All right, let's all right, okay, so Hedera's market cap right now is 1.6, basically 1.7 billion dollars. All right, so it would take 1.7 billion dollars for Hedera to double. Not going into tokenomics or how these numbers are calculated or anything like that. Very simple topical math. 1.7 billion for Hedera to double, or 294.3 billion for Ethereum to double. So what's going to happen first? 294.3 billion is going to get added to Ethereum, or 1.7 billion is going to go into Hedera? What do you think is going to happen first? What's going to happen first? All right. Like, do you really think that Ethereum is going to outperform Hedera's inflows from 1.7 to a 2.94 billion ratio? Okay. Do you get my point? That's kind of basic math. I think Ethereum there is a place for it, of course. But I also think that if your goal is to get as many X's as possible, my answer, but there is still a place to hold Bitcoin and Ethereum. People are even talking about, the new portfolio I'm building, you're buying 100K at a time. Hey, like, why aren't you buying Bitcoin or Ethereum? Like, why you didn't even buy Solana? Like, don't you want to protect a little bit? My answer was, I'm not building this portfolio to protect. I'm not I'm not building this portfolio to protect. I've made it to where I am in crypto by living with complete abandon, by just sending it. All right. And like let's be honest about if AJ Pleasanton's journey from 18 to his beginning of his 30s. I didn't get to where I am by playing it safe. And I've started over from zero so many times that I'm actually good at it. I'm very good at starting from zero. From the time I was 18 to 25, the amount of times I've moved to a new city with very little money and very few friends, and a year later, got a job, saved some money, had a bunch of friends, and city to city to city. I have friends all over the world because of how much I moved around like throughout my 20s, which was a wild ride. It wasn't really stable, but I'm glad I did it because I know how to start over from zero. I could write a book about it. All right. And the thing is that I am okay if I have to start over from zero again after this. I will be fine. And I was talking to a friend over the weekend, and I'm okay with being risky in this bull run. I'm okay with taking it on because there's a big difference between $3 million and 30. Okay, that's how hard I'm going to swing for the fence here. So yeah, I mean, being able to become a crypto millionaire and doing the things I've done this year, I mean, it's great. It's great, but I'm like, yeah, okay, cool, whatever. Like once you really sit down and think about $1 million, really isn't that much money. It's really not. Not even a little bit. So I'm swinging for the fences for sure. And I'm not saying anybody has to follow me. I'm not saying you should do what I do completely, but I am saying that I'm totally fine with striking out or hitting a grand slam. It's one or the other for me. I'm fine with that. Raw 2.0, Trump 72% chances of winning. Why aren't we going up? Where do you see that number? Where are you getting 72% from? I'm totally fine with that number, but I just want to know where you got it from. Jet, assuming we have a bull run, when do you see it topping? Ben has hinted at April Fool's Day in the past. Yeah, Ben all of a sudden was like, oh, the bull run's going to happen in 2024. Yeah, I can say that because I'm his friend. I think the only person allowed to make fun of Ben is me because I'm his friend. But yeah, dude, I think that it's really important to take things as they come. And I think that this year, a lot of people, a lot of crypto influencers, myself was not one of them, said, oh, bull run 24, early cycle. And that all happened because they all just got excited. Everyone was just like, oh, Bitcoin ETF, or Bitcoin all-time high before the halving. Oh, it's going to be crazy. And I was like, hey, guys, the halving just happened. Calm down. All right. And, last bull run was a year and a half after the last halving. And the bull run before that was a year and a half after the last halving. So until that breaks, we're kind of counting on Q3, Q4, 2025. Like I've said, since I've done the Hit Network price prediction videos, way back early AJ has been saying Q3, Q4, 2025 because of the Bitcoin halving. There is no metrics. There's not a chart you can look at that says if that is going to happen or not. Do you know why? Because it's the future. All right. And no crypto influencer knows the future. Some of them act like they have this little window that takes them to Narnia and they peek through the window and come back and make a video. Oh, I went to the future just to tell you about this. Don't listen to that. That's bullshit. Okay. Straight up. It's about speculation. That's the point. We're not going to know when things happen or didn't. It's important to take things as they come based off the Bitcoin halving cycle, and every crypto bull run before this one has been a year and a half after the halving. Until that breaks, which it has not yet, until that pattern, that trend breaks, I'm going to go into and assume that it's going to be the same. I'm going to take 25 as it comes at me. If things 5x from here, that's when we start having a conversation. Bitcoin gets above 100,000, 120,000. Ethereum breaks 10K. Solana's at 500. When things like that start to happen, look at the calendar. Let's take it as it comes. But we have to take in the historical, the pattern of a year and a half after the halving. And if it takes longer, it takes longer. If it happens in April, it happens in April. But we're going to know it as it happens. And it sure as hell hasn't happened yet. And I think for a lot of altcoins, just getting back to that previous 2024 high is a good start. Because if you go and look at the injection of money, go to coin market cap. Here, let's do it. Let's do this right now. I haven't done this on this channel in like probably 6 months. Let's do this. All right. So we're going to go to coin market cap historical snapshot. Okay. Oh, I was right here waiting for me. January 2021. All right. Let's look at two altcoins. Cardano. All right. Let's look at Cardano. $6.3 billion in January of 2021. All right. Cardano 6.3 billion. And then let's look at VeChain, 1.6 billion. Dogecoin, 1.2 billion. All right. You get my point, right? You get my point. Now, 2021, that was January. So Cardano was like 6 billion. VeChain and Dogecoins were like 1.6, 1.2 billion. All right. Now let's go to mid-March 2021. Cardano, 37 billion. From the beginning of January to March of 2021, Cardano went from 6 billion to 37.99 billion. Okay. That's 32 billion added to that market cap from January to March in the same year. Okay. VeChain was at 1 billion. Now it's at 1.6 billion. Now it went to 6 billion. Dogecoin was actually smaller than VeChain at 1.2 billion, and it went to 7.3 billion from January to March. That's an injection. That is a bull run. If you go and look at now, let's keep this in mind. We thought the beginning of 2024 was a bull run. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. Like, yeah, it was a nice run up. We doubled our money, but that wasn't a bull run. Don't get it wrong. It was a nice run up is all it was. All right, 2024. Let's look at the beginning of January. All right, Cardano, 17.4 billion. And then, damn, Polygon has fallen so far. It was at 13th at the beginning of this year. That's crazy. All right, so Cardano, 17 billion. All right, and then let's look at like, let's use VeChain again. 2 billion. 2 billion. The graph, 1.5 billion. All right. And now let's go to March of this year. Okay. Let's compare. Remember the big giant jump we saw from January to March in 2021, right? Now Cardano, 11 billion. Nothing crazy there. VeChain, 1.5 billion. So it went up a little bit. The graph 1.1, but you get my point here. We didn't really have a crazy run. And when you go to the chart, here, let's actually here, let's go to not Dogecoin isn't really a good example. Even Phantom might work a little bit. Okay, here. So share this tab instead. Go to the daily chart. Okay. So I got some alarms popping off down here. So 2024. All right. So we were kind of like baseline 33 cents and the end of March. So I need one more week out was one. So it went from the beginning of January was over here, about 245%, 80 days. All right. So my point I'm making here, the point I'm cooking is that yes, we saw a run up early this year. Okay. But when you compare the run up early this year to January to March of 2021, not even close to the sheer bulk, that billion and billion and billion dollars. Cardano went from 6 to $37.9 billion from January to March 2021. VeChain went from 1 billion to 6 billion, 1.5 billion to 6 billion. Dogecoin went from 1.2 billion to over 7 billion. That's a bull run. Those are the numbers. That's how much it cost. Remember that. For when we get to the bull run 2025, you know, we're going to know as it comes, okay, we know what this looks like. We know what this feels like. We've done this before. We've seen this run up. So what I want you to do, everybody, what I want you to do is I want you to go to, you know, a basic altcoin chart that we follow. All right. For right now, I'll just use Algorand. Okay. And guys, we've been down here before with Algorand. This isn't a place that it's not like we haven't seen this before. And I want you to go to the 2024 high right here. For Algorand, it's just a little teeny bit around 33 cents. All right. And I'm going to draw this line across here like this. All right. I'm going to set this alarm. I want to do it only once. All right. I'm going to type Algo 2024 ATH. All right. All-time high. And now, whenever this thing does another one of these, and guys, this is the level, this 16-cent level for Algorand. We've talked about this 100 times on the show. And we still aren't even at where we turned around from at the end of 23. All right. And guys, like, let's not even sleep on the fact Algorand, 265%, about 150 days. That ain't bad. That ain't bad. But that wasn't it. That was not it. All right. So this is kind of just like the starting point. I feel like the next bull run will kind of have one of these, probably one like something like that. All right. That's not time accurate because I went well into 26 by drawing that. But that's kind of the gist of what I'm expecting. All right. And of course, you know, things are really going to have to move, man. There a lot of money is going to have to come into crypto to get to the prices we're talking about, but we're going to know it as it happens. And at the very least, set an alarm at the 2024 all-time high, 2024, the yearly high. So, you know, okay, well, this is a measuring stick. We were here last year, but last year wasn't the bull run. Last year, everyone just got excited because of the Bitcoin ETF. And then we had a run up to March, and then the rest of the year we bled out, basically. All right. Bitcoin is a different story. I'm talking altcoins specifically here. All right. So use that as your measuring stick. You will understand the all-time high, the bull market, and the timing of it as it's happening. And once things feel too good to be true, once your Uber driver is asking you about Dogecoin, once your family members call you and say, hey, how do I get a Coinbase? That's your cue. Get out. All right. TC, get out there and vote. Facts. After this show, this show is all I'm doing today. I will be posting some setups in the Telegram group later today, but I do want to say, everybody, we think FOMC days are volatile. Things could get crazy today. Trading, I think I might sit today out trading. I just don't want to get like hit by any crazy whipsaws, man. There are a lot of days, man, where it's just like there's not an asterisk. This is the same thing I say about XRP. Like, yeah, like you could get XRP if you wanted to, but there are so many other coins that don't have an asterisk next to them that, you know, don't have the chance that XRP is taking. Not to mention its market cap's already way too big. But that's how I feel about trading today. Like, could you trade today? Yes. But, you know, there's 364 other days that don't have this asterisk attached to it where you could, you know, not take a crazy chance and not, you know, I think if you're hodling, fine. But if you're trading, day trading, I'm sitting today out. Okay, I'm checking out the chat. Big shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure you all smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Big shout out to Variety Vibes, the Glitter Queen, Kathleen Bayless, Mike J, Blocky Crypto, 6 a.m. Doug, Crypto Santana, 6 a.m. 2G Fit, Raw 2.0, Jet, Lee F, everybody. I do appreciate each and every one of you. G2 Fit says, how do you feel about XDC and do you still hold it? I will say that I did talk about XDC. Oh, which video was it? I think it was in my video for going into 2024. I think I was excited about XDC. They had some sort of partnership going that kind of mirrored a different partnership another coin had. Then that coin reacted well to it. And XDC, man, like there was a point in time I was excited about that. As time has gone by, I've kind of backed out more and more and more of some of the ISO projects, XDC being one of it. There was a point in time I held XDC. I did sell it at a loss, complete transparency, and I don't hold it anymore. I do, you can't be spot on about every single pick you make as the years go by. But I do regret saying that one. I was wrong about that, and I will be the first one in line to tell you when I was wrong about anything. That's for sure. Also, big shout out. We got about 200 people here on YouTube, over 300 people over on X, guys. Really appreciate y'all for being here. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. Going back to the chat here really quick. Grateful Dad, if you're 100 bag 5Xs before year's up, will you take profit? Yes, for sure. All right, I'm gonna get into the rest of the show. I get caught up with the chat so bad, man. It's crazy. All right, so had a couple news stories today. Mt. Gox moves 2.2 billion in Bitcoin as it works to repay creditors. And I am kind of torn with these Mt. Gox stories. I feel like they're kind of a dime a dozen anymore. I don't think that. And guys, I really want you to think about this. $2.2 billion. $2.2 billion. All right. To be fair, Bitcoin's market cap is 1.3 trillion. These are all billions. All right. This one has another comma. All right. I know there are some people freaked out. Oh, what if everyone from Mt. Gox sells? What if everyone? No. Okay. No. Bitcoin has an insane market cap. $2 billion isn't really making a dent. It's really not. All right. Just know that. Keep that in your mind and don't let stories like that move the needle for you. Okay. That's how I feel. I don't care. I hope they get paid back. And if I waited for that long and got a bunch of money that was not in my life, and I waited all this time and I finally got paid, I'd probably sell it too. But it's only $2 billion, people. Calm down. All right. Polymarket user Wallet Mobile risked 10 million on Trump's victory. Holy shit. That's insane. Put a $10 million bet. If he wins, he's going to get 16 million back, which is, a $6 million win, risking 10 to win 6. I don't know, man. I think you might have had a better time at the casino playing Baccarat. Better ratio. Yeah, but that's a pretty sick bet. I did joke on the channel last week that maybe I should hedge my cope with a very large Polymarket bet on Kamala, because I think Altcoin Daily made a video, I'm pretty sure it was last week, that they were like, yeah, if you bet $1,000 on Trump, you'd get like $1,600 back, but if you bet $1,000 on Kamala, you'd get $2,600 back. And I was like, so if I put like 10 grand out on Kamala, I'd get 26 back. Like, that's not bad. Like, you know what I mean? And I was thinking, because if Trump wins, because if I bet 10K on Kamala, I'm going to make way more than 10K if Trump wins. But if Trump loses, at least I get something. That was kind of where my head was. I didn't do it. I don't think I'm going to. I think it's kind of just dumb, to be honest. I like the logic, but man, I don't really bet that much anymore. Like I like playing poker. Anytime I travel, go to Vegas, love poker. I've always played poker my whole life, man. The day after I turned 21, I played my first poker tournament at a casino. That's been a big thing for mine. I was into sports betting for a while. I correctly called the first touchdown player 3 Super Bowls in a row. That was pretty sick. Those are always really good money to get back. But you know, when it comes to the election, man, like I don't know. I will get into my election overview at the end of the show. But you know, this guy here is a legend. 10 million on Trump. That's conviction, ladies and gentlemen. So before I show this story, you know, guys, I do the Mario Nafal spaces multiple times a week. You know, sometimes I do the roundtable, sometimes I do Mario's main channel, and basically have a conversation about anything, and then we like kind of interview a project at the end of a lot of shows. And it's only an hour show. I do about 4 or 5 a week. This week I'm on Wednesday, 2 on Thursday, 1 on Friday. And they're really good conversations. I really like Mario. Mario and I get along. I mean, he has like the 8th largest social media following behind Mr. Beast. Like what he's built is pretty insane, and I'm really grateful to be a part of it. And you know, it's a good way to build my followers on Twitter. You know, and I like doing the spaces, and I like learning about the projects that come on the show. And anyway, what I'm building to here is that we had a conversation that was basically like, okay, so the Boston Consulting Group projection for RWA tokenization is what, like 16 or I think like 16 or 17 trillion dollar market cap by 2030. And that's kind of the argument for so many RWA projects, is that, okay, if we can get 0.1% or 0.05% of this massive multi-trillion-dollar market cap, our market cap for this crypto coin will be, you know, 50 billion or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why a lot of projects have really leaned into RWAs. Okay. And we know these projects, the Hederas, the Algorands, the VeChains, a lot of projects like that. And there are some of them that are doing better than others. That's completely fair. And I also think that the RWA narrative is sort of the long-term play, because it's going to take time for these projects to tokenize everything. Basically, the Boston Consulting Group, which is one of the most respected firms in the world, you know, they made that projection, which they said in the notes that it's actually a conservative projection. It's a shy projection. They are basically counting on everything being tokenized eventually. There's a couple problems with that. One, there's not a standard. Yeah, right. So if you tokenize your, you know, house on Avalanche, why couldn't you tokenize it again on Algorand? You know what I mean? Like, so is there going to be a fight for a standard? Is there going to be an arms race between projects to achieve standardization? Or will there find a way to be some sort of interoperability, just like with the blockchain, but between levels of tokenization? That's one thing that really hasn't been solved yet. So would you count Algorand as an RWA? Of course. So check out Lofty and all that stuff. Of course, they're big in RWAs. Hot on the Line says, poker, play at Atlantic City. Dude, I played Borgata like all the time. You could find me. I literally had like a little apartment set up right next to seat 2 at the 2-5 table at Borgata. I lived there for like a year, bro. But shout out to you, man. Appreciate it. But yeah, so my point here is that the RWA projection is for 2030. It's for 2030. All these trillions of dollars, but for 2030. And someone came on the show. We were talking about a project on Solana called Agridex. Basically, they're tokenizing the multi-trillion-dollar agriculture industry. Okay, and that adds a whole other layer of things. What you're dealing with, crops and things that have a shelf life and stuff like that. But anyway, he was basically saying, okay, so this projection saying that by 2030, this sector will be worth all this money, but that hasn't really started happening yet. We have not gone up that hill yet. So, point being, is this bull run too early for RWA projects? And I was like, damn, that's kind of a good point. Like, damn, that's a really good point, because that market cap isn't even close to $1 trillion yet, and it's supposed to get to 16 trillion by 2030. It's the end of 2024, and it has not really picked up yet. So I kind of thought to myself, I need to start seeing headlines like this. Singapore boosts tokenization in financial sector. Singapore central bank unveils new framework to promote tokenization, aiming to expand digital asset use in fixed income, FX, and asset management. And this is the kind of stuff that's going to have to happen for everything to be tokenized. And basically, the Boston Consulting Group is saying a lot of shit is going to be tokenized between now and 2030. But the question is, is it too late? Do the RWA projects still have time? So my answer to that is, so what you're saying, this postulation is basically that the projects that are RWA projects are not going to have a bull run because they have not tokenized all this stuff yet. I still think all these projects are going to absolutely rip. Why is that? Well, look at what Cardano did last bull run. I just showed you January 21 to March of 21. Went from $6 to $37 billion. Remember that? That was on a promise. Cardano's ecosystem is a fraction of what it used to be. I mean, of what Cardano's ecosystem was when that happened compared to what it is now. Two different stories. Cardano has matured like crazy from then to now. You get my point. So I don't think that it's certainly a requirement for all of the RWA projects to tokenize everything in 2025 in order to have a bull run. I mean, look at all the gaming projects in 2021. The idea of the metaverse and Ready Player One stuff. Did any metaverse project actually build like a crazy metaverse that was like, oh my God, this is insane. I'm never leaving here. I'm never leaving my couch. I'm going to stay here. Like, did that happen? No. Sand ripped, Mana ripped, Blocktopia ripped. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's necessarily. Yes, is it going to help when the RWA projects have RWAs? Yeah, like when they actually start total, TVLing really hard, locking down assets. Yes, that's going to be very good for the market cap. It's going to be very good for the project. That is what these projects are built on. But it's also very important to remind yourself that this is a crypto bull run we're talking about. All right, there is a point with the crypto bull run where you have to take your logic and put it in a hat and throw it out the window because it's a bull run. Very early on this year, Solana went from $30 to $50. Went from $50 to $60. And everyone said, oh no, I missed it. We missed it. We're not going to the moon. We didn't do it. Well, we missed it. Guess what? Solana went to 80 to 90, 100, 150, 200. Just keeps going. You got to kind of remove some logic from the situation. Like, not everything has to complete their roadmap. Roadmap completion is not a requirement for bull run gains. And that's very important thing to wrap your head around. Things will run on their own. And these are the stories that we want to see, because obviously the goal is to tokenize everything, and we will figure out, the difference, like with the standardization issue and all that stuff. But time has to play itself out. Lastly, Michigan Pension Fund makes historic Ethereum investment. Michigan Pension Fund leads the way with an historic ETH investment, signaling a shift towards broader crypto adoption in public funds. Becoming the first U.S. state pension to add Ethereum ETF to its portfolio. With a substantial stake in Grayscale Ethereum Trust, Michigan investment signifies the growth acceptance of digital assets beyond Bitcoin, highlighting Ethereum's potential as more than just a cryptocurrency. Hey guys, this is great. This is absolutely great. It always takes one state, one place, one something to take a leap of faith and to step out and do something other people haven't done. And then right when that happens, everyone else will jump on the bandwagon. And these are the kinds of stories that we want to see, that we will continue to see, and we will see a lot more of as crypto continues to kind of wake back up here. I think right now, I think you want to know where crypto sentiment is. Go back and look at the views of all your favorite crypto channels during February and March this year, and then the summer of this year, including Altcoin Daily, including BitBoy Crypto, including myself. When the market's hot, when things are pumping, when people are making money, views go crazy. But as things go down, as people get mad, as blah, 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 we can't expect every person to watch every video. And especially if they've been losing money, if their portfolio has been bleeding, look at the views of YouTube, crypto YouTube videos over time. And when you see that chart, you're like, okay, it basically follows the Bitcoin chart. It really does. And certainly something to pay attention to there. And what my point that I'm building to here is that, guys, people aren't back yet. Right now, the crypto Twitter is still alive and well. The crypto community is alive and well, of course. But right now, it's election day. Right now, everyone's focused on Kamala and Trump and all the points for each side and the arguments and losing friends and losing family members. Don't lose any of your friends. Don't lose any of your family members over an election. And don't be the person to say, oh, well, they were never a friend to begin with. Well, they could have been. They could have been. You don't know that. You don't know that. You don't know my friends. Shut your mouth. Okay. Okay. But, this is certainly one of those deals where just give it time. Give it time. I think that there's a lot of uncertainty. And the truth is, guys, it's very hard. When there's uncertainty in the market, you want to go and find the people who have it figured out. When you don't know the answer to something, you watch a video. You try to figure it out. All right. I'm not going to come on here and tell you that this one thing is definitely going to happen when I don't know. I haven't been to the future. But what I will say is that, like I said earlier in the show, regardless of who wins, I still believe that there will be a crypto bull run. I do believe that because of the M2 money supply. I stand firm on that. But when it comes to what is right, who should win, the ethical, moral high ground, in my opinion, with full confidence, today I am going to vote for Donald Trump. 100%. 100%. One, I was at Bitcoin Nashville on my birthday when Trump gave his speech about firing Gary Gensler, using Bitcoin, accumulating Bitcoin to the treasury to help offset national debt. And let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. 1 second. National debt clock. National debt clock. I know you can't see it yet. 1 second. Boom. All right. 35 trillion, almost 36 trillion in national debt. All right. And this hasn't really gone down at all, ever. And people don't appreciate how much this gets slept on. All right. People forget about this. People don't like to pay attention to this. They kind of want to just put it in the back of their mind. All right. And my point here is that America has been kicking the can of the debt ceiling down the street forever. Every time, we're going to have a government shutdown, guess what they do? We print more money and kick the debt ceiling down the street. There has to become a point in time where this number starts going the other way. All right. I don't know what Kamala's plan is. In fact, I don't think anyone knows what Kamala's plan is. I think she was just talking about joy and truth and happiness. Don't you just feel the joy? That was Kamala. She dodged doing a real interview the whole time, running on joy. And she wants to take credit for everything Joe Biden did, but she also doesn't want to take credit for the bad things that happened. And I didn't know a single thing about her policies this entire time. All right. And unlike a lot of people, I am willing to hear out the other side. If there is an argument, I will listen to both sides of the fence with the thinking cap on that. Okay, how do I rationalize this in my brain? How can I accept what they're saying? Does this make sense? All right. And of course, I listen to Trump Joe Rogan. I listen to Elon Joe Rogan. I listen to the side of the right wing. All right. And of course, I'm Republican. I listen to that side, and there is a bit of bias there. I agree with that. But that doesn't mean I did not listen to Kamala Harris. I watched the debate. I watched Tampon Tim versus JD Vance. And oh my God, if anything happened to Kamala, we would have Tim as our president, guys. Tim. For real. That would happen. All right. No. So, guys, call your daddy. That interview. Oh my God. Shannon Sharp. That interview. Oh my God. Like, I don't think people really get the implication here. The implication is that in Shannon Sharp, in Call Your Daddy, in everything Kamala has said, has she given you a plan to fix this right here? No, there has not been a plan. There is no plan. The plan is joy. The plan is Cardi B flopping off the teleprompter. All right. Cardi B, guys. All right. Bars. Donald Trump's plan to deal with this, like I said, is to use Bitcoin. Michael Saylor went on the stage before Donald Trump at Bitcoin Nashville and gave his projection for 2045, where Bitcoin is going to be like at least $3 million, according to his projection. And Trump and Cynthia Lummis, all of those people are saying, okay, well, let's buy Bitcoin and offset the national debt. Not only that, encourage crypto to be regulated inside the borders of America, not push them out, not slap them on the hand, not sue them. Do you know how much money the SEC has siphoned from this industry on just bullshit charges? Bullshit. Like, I saw a tweet earlier. Oh my God, I got to find this tweet. David, how the hell do you pronounce his dumbass last name? David Gockenstein. Is that how you say it? Gockenstein. Yeah. He machines not working in New York. That's not a surprise. He made an election map. Yeah, this meme right here, this one got me. This one got me pretty good. That one got me pretty good. Because it's like, and I know people in crypto. I know crypto folks. All right. And it's just like, how, with a straight face, can you tell me that you're bullish on the future of crypto? That crypto is you are in this industry. You are one of us. And you're not going to vote for Donald Trump. And I've talked about this before, because what the truth is that not a lot of people in the world, like, are business oriented, business minded people that are very successful, that make good money. All right, that number is getting smaller and smaller as time goes by, and the 1% of the 1%, the rich. All right, they own the factories that everyone works at. All right. And I understand the division there. I understand the jealousy. But when divisive people, Kamala Harris, kind of get on their high horse and say things like tax the rich. The people, the low IQ minded people that get all riled up in that statement, they don't know what they're saying. And trust me, the rich people already pay way more taxes than I used to. I remember when I was in high school and I worked at the laser tag down the street. That was a great time, by the way. On tax day, we got money back. We got a couple $1,000s. I was like, yeah, this is awesome. And high school AJ didn't understand capital gains, guys. He didn't understand deductions on income. I didn't understand those concepts yet. All right. And it changes things big time when you're on the other side of the coin and you actually realize how much money millionaires pay in taxes every year. And it's also just like, it's kind of more of an educational issue coming from my point of view, actually, because like the truth is it's kind of like everyone is in their own echo chamber. And that's unfortunate because I almost feel a little guilty when I say the term low IQ, but when I'm talking politely here, I really don't know how else to say it. I really don't know what other words to use. I want to put it gently. I don't want to be rude. I'm trying to make an educated, informed point based off my life experience, but I don't know how else to say it. All right. Low IQ. There are people that don't study, that don't use every day as another opportunity to absorb as much information as possible. Guys, I absorb every day. I've made a pattern out of my lifestyle is studying, learning, reading, listening to anything. I love to absorb. And it actually took me a while to really hit my stride on being a performer, on talking to you guys, doing the show, reading teleprompters, doing all that. I always had a little bit of rock star in me. I was in a lot of bands and stuff. I'm good on stage. I don't get nervous. But it took me a while to really hit my stride because I'm an observer. I listen. I read. And I just know that a very large percentage of people are the exact opposite habits of me. A lot of people are stuck in the flip of instant gratification, dopamine, light, bing, bing, bing. Bing, 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 bong, bong, bing, bing, bong. That's what happens in their brains. Okay. And I know that if everyone was equally informed, that things would be different. But that's the point. That's the point. The control of information. Who gets to know what? Why do you think YouTube throttled the Donald Trump interview? This very platform you're listening to right now throttled the Donald Trump interview. Why do you think most of the mainstream media is all owned by the left? Why is that? The control of information. And a lot of the times, the accusations that they throw at this side is really an admission of guilt from their side. Oprah came on and said, "Oh, yep, if Trump wins, it might be the last vote. It might be the last election." No. If Kamala wins, it might be the last election. It's basically like the eye was pointing, no, you. That's literally what we're dealing with right now. And the truth is that most people are not fully informed. So I kind of want to say that I am unbelievably frustrated living in a society that makes full formed opinions with half the information, less than half the information, 0.05% of the information, fully formed opinions. All right. It is, it bothers me, man. It bothers me big time. And this is going to sound radical, what I'm about to say here. And I don't want this to be interpreted as a social credit score, but it's not. Couple things. Until an election is done on a blockchain, I don't believe it. Regardless of who wins. If I'm happy or sad of the outcome, I still don't care until it's done on a blockchain. I know Jakey Soul, homie of mine, one of my boys, Canadian, came to America, no ID, voted for content. Genius. Follow his account. Great Twitter. Like, this is a joke. It's an absolute joke. What other reason would there be for no voter ID other than to cheat? Well, it's voter oppression, and voter oppression's racist. Shut the fuck up. That is not true. You don't, like, I need my ID to go buy a pack of cigarettes, or to go buy a beer, or to buy a lotto ticket, to gamble. But I don't need an ID to vote. Like, until this type of stuff goes away and it's done on a blockchain, I don't trust it across the board. 1. 2, I think people are not going to like this. I think that there should be a couple things you have to do to vote. One, a basic IQ test. Think one. Are you smart? Do you understand? You know, what's the Constitution? You know what I mean? Yeah, you know, basic things. Some sort of IQ test. Very important. Very important. And when it comes to taxes, right? When it comes to taxes, there are people that either don't file their taxes or make very, very, very little money. And they make a very, very, very minimum input back into society. Okay. And when I write Uncle Sam my very large capital gains tax bill, and I just don't want to, but I hand over a very large check and I say, okay, Uncle Sam, do something cool with it. Because I don't know what happens. I don't know what happens with that money. I would feel a lot better if they said, oh, this $100,000 right here is going to schools. Your money, AJ, is going to the school. Your money, AJ, is going to the roads. I wish I knew what happened, but I am making a larger difference, because if taxes is to help the community around you, basically, right? Well, at least that's what they say. I am making a larger difference than the people who make a very, very small difference. But when it comes to election day, we're the same. I don't think minds were created equal. People might be, but minds were not. Minds were not. And I honestly believe this, that I know people aren't going to like it, but I'm just going to say it. I think votes should be weighted based off IQ, based off overall knowledge of America, Constitution, things like that. Not because, oh, I like his nose more, like that. And it should be weighted off tax bracket. And it should be a very small difference, but a big enough difference. I'm not saying people aren't all the same or we all don't have the same rights, which we do. But I think when it comes to voting, it should be done a little bit differently, just a little bit. And I don't want you to think social credit score. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that why is it that someone who has no fucking clue what's going on, who might not even speak English, that came here on a bus and was given a credit card, who doesn't have an ID, why is that person's vote the same as yours? It should all be, you should be an illegal citizen. You should be a legal citizen. You should have to take a test to prove that you at least know what you're talking about a little bit. Even if you want to remove, I know what you're saying, it's already weighted the electoral college, but it's not the same. What about military and veterans? That's fair too. And then obviously opens up a whole nother can of worms. I know that. I'm just saying that at the very minimum, you have to be a legal American citizen. All right. You have to have an ID, and it should be done on a blockchain. Those three things should be the start. Everything else comes later. And it's kind of just like one of those deals where it should just be on the blockchain. That's fine with me too. But it's also, it frustrates me. It's just like, well, like, why do I because when it comes to taxes, like, why do I have to pay all of these taxes if this guy over here paid like 3% of what I paid, but it's the same boat? Like, that doesn't feel fair to me. You know what I mean? Yeah. Fire Gary and stop crypto milking. I agree. I completely agree. So no, I'm not. And I literally, Kathleen, I literally started this off by saying, I do think people are equal. I started this whole thing off by saying, don't go down that street. That's not what I'm saying. But we can all agree that our minds, our brains are not equal. We all are different. We have different experiences. We have different stimuli. We have different things happening around us. Okay. Like everyone's life experience is not the same thing. So like, sure, is each person a person equally a person? Yes. But experience and knowledge is not the same thing. And I think that there's something to be said there. And if you want to willingly demean that down to, you don't think people are equal, blah, 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 that's on you. That's not what I'm saying. Okay. Yeah. And it would be nice if at the very least, it was done on a blockchain. All right, so I did want to get the charts, but of course I went down an insane rabbit hole, like I always do. Said controversial things. People misinterpret my misinformation. Don't misinterpret my misinformation. Get it right. Yeah, I think they should. I don't know. I think the Electoral College makes sense to a degree, but what I don't like about the Electoral College is California. Okay. Yeah, man. I lived in California. I lived in LA, and then I moved to Long Beach because I couldn't stand LA, and then I left California because I couldn't stand California, and I had a good time there, man. I had a good time, but I don't think, you know. people hilarious. Bitcoin dominance, guys, ripping, almost getting to 61%. It's almost there. It's just going. It is just going. Wow. All-time high 60.65. This is going to keep rocking. Bitcoin is sucking the air out of the room big time. And guys, you know, to be fair, any altcoin that looks like that, even if it goes to here, we all know the story. This chart can only end in one thing. If you're an altcoin holder, you know that's how that ends. Like, for real. That's how this ends. And keep an eye on this ascending, broadening channel. Keep an eye on it, because when this thing breaks structure, altcoins are going to have their day in the sun. All right. It's been this way. Bitcoin has sucked the air out of the room for a very long time. This isn't news to you guys. Everyone knows this. All right. So kind of coming back to the bull flag. Really good to see, if we just kind of accept the daily chart at face value, how Bitcoin kind of came and bullishly retested off the bull flag. That's a good look. We didn't want to see, you know, Bitcoin kind of come all the way down back into the bull flag. Like, it would have been really sad to see it break out and then kind of fall back into here. That could still happen, but that is why this trend line, let me kind of scoot this up just a little bit. All right. So, you know, it could come to here and still technically be in an uptrend. Kind of the point I'm building at right now. I am going to post setups in the group today. I am. It might not be till probably after we get back from voting, but there will be setups in there today. And I do want to still say that be careful trading today. If you're leverage trading today, be careful. I do want to say that. Secondly, couple things. Couple of these levels. This one right here is a big one to me. This one is at 68.8. Got a couple big support resistance levels here. We lose 68.8. I'd be okay with. Wait, that can't be right. Yeah, 68.8. Yeah, I'd be okay with the short to like 67s, like this value area here. Like here, if we lost 68. You're kind of looking at like 2% little scalp there. Kind of zooming in 12-minute chart here. And to be fair, it did already kind of break above the level I was looking at kind of during the show, kind of right in there somewhere. And you could even use 69.8 as a level to 68.8 if you wanted to. But in terms of going long, man, I don't really have a perfect level to give. I would have to say this one. I'm getting scammed. I've been getting a lot of like phone calls and like weird text messages from like, hi, my name is Larry and I am not a bot. Who are you voting for? I what happened? Yeah, I would say that's a good level. 71.5. Because we had this here, this big wick here, and we bounced off of it here. That would be the level. I know we're a little bit below that. If you wanted the long to it, I don't hate the idea. Who the fuck is this guy? Oh, it's the mail guy. He's looking at my cyber. He walked by my cyber truck. He literally walked by my truck like. That was hilarious. I might have to get this mail real fast. One sec. Yeah, this is it. All right, perfect. That's my name. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, sometimes Jada like orders stuff on Amazon and mails it here. I'm like, why did we just get a bunch of floss sent to the office? That was hilarious. Yeah, and guys, I obviously understood my rant earlier would be controversial. I completely accepted that, but we can at least agree on this, that we can all have ideas. It doesn't mean anything's going to happen. Obviously I think the world would be a little bit more easy to navigate if IQ was respected, but at the same time, we can all agree that at the very least, the way things are done now, it's not it. And if you have an idea on how things should go, I'd love to hear it. And if the other YouTuber has an idea on what they would do, I'd love to hear it. And I know crazy ideas like votes should be weighted based off of your IQ and your tax bracket. I know that's a very controversial thing to say, but that doesn't mean that anyone is less of a person. But it does mean that some people contribute to society in a more meaningful way than others, and that should be noticed in some way, shape, or form. Like obviously, like it shouldn't. In my mind, it's crazy that a Harvard professor and a kid that just turned 18 that dropped out of high school get the same vote. That's crazy to me. That doesn't equal in my brain. It doesn't. All right. And I know even the fact that what I'm saying will never happen. Too many people would get pissed. Obviously, we can at least agree on is that what we're doing now isn't fucking it. we can agree on that. All right. So let's just leave it there. Thanks to Crypto Carter, man. I did put a lot of work into this little backdrop here, and I think it's gonna keep going. Corn the short way. Corn the short way. Thanks for everything you do, AJ. Wish you the best in your YouTube journey. Hey man, thanks man. I appreciate that. Trading very low leverage the next few weeks for sure. Okay. But yeah, those are my levels for Bitcoin right now. So we have 71.5, 69.8, and 68.8. Those are the ones. Someone said in the chat, turbo. Let's look at the turbo chart. I haven't looked at it in a while. And to be honest, guys, I'm not going to lie. This chat, you guys told me about turbo. And most of the time, when someone puts a ticker in the chat, I don't look at it. I don't give a shit. I know people want to shill. People, and that's fine. I hate the word shill. Like I don't like that word. But I still understand people are going to do that. But sometimes there is a ticker that gets through where I see people with wrenches or multiple people that have been here for a while say the same thing. Then I'm like, okay, this one's worth looking at. And you guys gave me turbo. And we all consequently gave the internet turbo before turbo popped. That's the magic of this channel. That is the magic of this channel. Connor Lyon, do you think algo can hit 2024 highs before 2025? Probably not. Probably not. Do I think it's going to hit 2024 highs in 2025? I'd bet my bottom dollar on that. And Randall Dance is going to take the credit. All credit to Randall Dance. And I hope you clip that and put it on Twitter. Clip it, bro. But here is the 2-hour chart. Oh, this can't be correct. Oh, because it got listed on Binance. That's why it's an early chart. That makes sense. All right, so here is, let's go to daily. Now, here is the turbo chart. And go, oh, did not mean to draw brushes on it. All right, and guys, y'all told me about this thing like over here. Like dead ass. You told me about it over here. This thing ripped. 940% in 16 days. And guys, I am going to tell you that ahead of time. In the bull run, if something in the bull run pumps like this sharp, this hard, this far, like this, all right, and you get 800% in 16 days, if you don't sell, it's your fault. Period. There's that. But now this thing, and let's talk about this a little bit. Let's talk about this. Daily chart, EMA sandwich didn't break down. That's very interesting. I would have, of course, gone from the level. I would have gone from here. That would have been my definitely sell level. And that's a lot of, because right here, there's nothing in between this level. All right. And look at the gap of the volume profile. Nothing there. And that's because it just came up and that was it. Right. If this is it, there's nothing to catch. That's very important to be able to find that in a chart, because in the event if turbo falls this level, you can bet your bottom dollar it's going to come to the next one. All right. To be fair, it is fighting the daily chart, getting above the 50 EMA. It has had these kind of dips before where it comes up really hard, bounces 50, boom, bounces 50, boom, 50, boom, rips up again and fights the 50 again. So this has kind of been the story for turbo a lot of the year. Also, very interesting level where it is right now, considering these wicks right there. And we're actually just above that by like 0.01. So I would still use that as a measuring stick for sure. That level I just drew is at 0079. And then, of course, previous highs, this level from the body is a little bit better because of this. And then obviously the previous highs as well, all worth setting alarms on. But, I don't, and I would really kind of use this here too, because this is big support resistance. We can agree with that. Okay. Right here. So losing that would be a sell or a short at 00708. This would really be a long alarm, to be honest, but how far is that next bit here? About 17.7%. Let me zoom in a little bit. So on the 2-hour, this actually makes it a little bit more interesting. So I wouldn't long it right here this second just because it picked up that level. But what I would do is set an alarm on this because, kind of this down channel here and the break of, 805 would be a pretty good place to go long from. And then you could probably coincide that with, I would even maybe say this level here. This would be a good one too at 826. Yeah, so those are some pretty close alarms, but keep in mind that it's in a downtrend. It's in a down channel, and we want to break that, kind of get that pivot and see the EMAs cross and change direction. It's still in a bearish pattern. That's what I'm trying to say. It's still in a bearish pattern. Hopefully, if it breaks this, clears key support resistance and closes above, get the EMAs across, it'd be a little bit prettier of a setup, but right now it's still in a bearish pattern, and I wouldn't consider getting this until it broke out of this down channel right here. So you guys got that one. I want to continue, but we've already been going for an hour, 15 minutes. Let me do a quick number check here. We got about 170 on YouTube, 4 something on Twitter, 460 on Twitter. You guys rock. Thanks for being here. I'm not going to have a video come out today. It's election day. There's really no point, in my opinion. I think everyone's going to be really focused on the election, and that's fine. That makes complete sense. I'm not going to put out like a crypto video today, considering no one cares right now. It's all about the election, and that's fine. That's fine. I am going to be putting some setups in the Telegram group. I was a little quiet over the weekend. I took a little break, and guys, I need to take a break sometimes. I do appreciate, I know still a bunch of traders put setups. There are 2 channels in the group, and a bunch of traders still put setups in the other channel, and that's really good to help. And honestly, like sometimes if I give you like 15 charts and we're in C ranges and alarms are going off, like you have the levels, like you have the setups I gave you, you're trading them. You know what I mean? I don't have to post. Like I could not post for 2 weeks and you could still make really good trades off what I gave you before. And I know a lot of the traders in the group have figured that out. And a lot of traders in the group go back months to look at the levels I gave for charts back then, because there's a lot of money to be made. So if I don't post for a couple of days, I have mental health too. I got to take a break. I need to take a step away from kind of recharge my battery sometimes. And I have certainly found my threshold this year. And that has been important for me to figure out where AJ got to draw the line. So, and I'm at a point where I can do that now. It's not about survival anymore. So that's important too. But I will, members only, I'm going to say, let's do it Friday. Let's do it Friday. I'm going on Frugal BC's channel. He's an altcoin guy, but he talks a lot about Algorand and stuff like that. I'm going on his channel at 1:15. Let's do it after Frugals. So I'm going to go ahead and say 3 p.m. Oh, I have a Mario space on Friday too. I'm going to go ahead and give you that time right now, just so I can say for sure. What's up? Oh, I gotta reschedule with Frugal because my space is at 1:30. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and say 3 or 3:30 on Friday for members only. So definitely become a member of the channel. Make sure you're there for that. That's where we have like open Q&As about trading, go over the trades with the group, give you new trades and stuff like that. It's like really serious trader stuff. It's not like a news hangout kind of story. But we have a really good time on the members only channel. I know a lot of traders have been making really good progress in the group. I love getting the dude I've made it so far email. That was fun. Also, guys, if you want to join the Telegram group, make sure you send me an email, ajalphagroup@gmail.com. We are coming in hot this week. We'll be posting setups. I would go ahead and say every day for the rest of the week. Also, I am going to be doing, if Trump wins the election, I played around with the idea of, if Trump wins the elections, I might do a Twitter giveaway every day for a month, or at least every day for 2 weeks. I have been talking to some of my people, and you did Frugal dirty twice. Nah, I didn't do him dirty at all. We talked about it. Dude, my schedule is so crazy, bro. I wish people understood that. But I've been playing with the idea of maybe giving away a Tesla. How'd y'all feel about that? What if I gave away a Tesla? Or what if I gave away a Tesla a month for a year? What if I did some shit like that? I think it would work. I've already kind of floated the conversation with the motocross guys at MX Sports that what if I gave away a dirt bike at every race of the year? Like, that'd be crazy, right? Like if I gave one at the track and one on TV, gave 2 bikes away at every race. Like I'm going to lean into that stuff really hard. Because if you kind of look into like Mr. Thank You, or like the origins of Mr. Beast, like, oh, I gave $5,000. Like I'm getting to a point where I can do stuff like that. And I love doing stuff like that. And I also want to do it and make it about crypto. And I'm cool. I could totally pull that off 100%. And I have been playing with the idea. I've been doing some pretty crazy brainstorms on what to do. I know that I don't have the numbers, like the following on YouTube, not yet, but I'm going to get to a point where I've done so well, it's going to be impossible to ignore me. And that's how I'm going to do it. And I'm fine with that. I'm totally fine with that, because the truth is like, before I was on my come up, and I still am on my come up to a degree, but to be fair, I got to a point now that most traders won't ever get to. And the difference is that I can tell you how I did it. I can systematically break down, this is what I did. This, if you do this, you will succeed. I can do that. And I've helped people do that. And it's going to be one of those things where if you put up excuses, if there's all these reasons why you can't do it, well, you already made your mind up, man. You can't do it. You can't do it. But if you're willing to drop everything, and completely dedicate your time and yourself and your life to doing this, I am your shining example, ladies and gentlemen. I am your shining example. It is possible. It is possible, but I am going to keep growing one at a time. And obviously, whole thing will be a lot easier if Trump wins this election. And guys, I know the gains are nice. Crypto pumping, that'd be great. But really, I want to see America become the crypto powerhouse. I want to see America grab crypto by the horns and make it the leading industry inside the States. I care more about that. I'm already a millionaire, man. I don't, the rest is great. It's gravy. It's gravy. But it's also kind of like, all right, what about next year? What about the rest of my career? I don't want to move to Dubai. I don't. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at. So guys, get out and vote. Too big to rig. Make America healthy again, man. I'm not voting. I'm voting for like my family, man. I'm voting for the people that come after me. I don't want to see a continuation of the past 4 years. I want to see. I know what this place can be. And I've also watched this country go to shit as an adult. Like from 18 to now, America is a completely different place. And everyone's priorities are completely ass backwards. Like, I understand there are smaller issues that matter, but focus on the issues that really, really matter. And people are unable to do that. They are too distracted. They are too worried about dying on this little hill. Don't die on a little hill. All right. That's all I got, guys. At the end of the day, it's up to you. It's up to you. Get rich or get wrecked. Trump 24.